Edward Arno here. I've been writing a blog for years. I have decided to make a video blog, but please don't forget I have 2 books published, Coronation Souvenir and 3 Ring Circus, published by Valley Rose Press and available on Amazon worldwide. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more stories of an ill-spent life of mystery, intrigue and comedy. For many years, people at writing conferences have said you should write what you know. I don't know how to murder somebody. I've never used a gun, and where you stab someone with a knife to kill them eludes me. Poisons are messy chemicals, though I have met many people who have murdered others and have been involved in murder. Years ago, growing up in Birmingham, England, there was a very famous murder. On December the 23rd, 1959. Sydney Stephanie Bird was murdered in the annex of the YMCA in Wheelie Road, Edgbaston. The city went into panic mode, some saying there was a new Jack the Ripper. This was because of what the murderer did to the body. They displayed the cut body parts around the room as though it was a butcher's shop. 7 weeks later, Patrick Joseph Byrne was arrested. I was a friend of the pathologist's son, who lived on the old Birmingham Road in the Lickey Hills. He heard his father talk about the murder, then told me all the gory details. This was the start of my fascination with mystery and murder, along with the many mystery books I borrowed from the Northfield Public Library. The father of a school friend was arrested, tried and convicted of murdering 4 people. I'm not going to name either of them, as the father is still alive at 97, now out of prison. We were both 12 years old, and when he was told, my friend began to shake, then burst into tears. His stern, uncompassionate grandfather gave him a backhanded slap, then told him to grow up. He wasn't a child anymore. My friend never recovered from that ordeal and became a hermit in the Welsh mountains, dying a few months ago, a lonely old man. I'll be using elements of this story in James Pidgley Book 6, Death of a Vote. Before arriving in America, I owned a rave nightclub and promoted an all-night rave in a field in Ayrshire in Scotland. My financial partner was a local businessman who had a reputation as a cunning entrepreneur. I was called to the local hospital to find him with his leg almost cut off. He shrugged it off as a little business difficulty. My eyes were opened, and I found out he was the local financier for drug deals and other criminal activities. He admitted one drunken drug night he had, as a teenager, stabbed someone to death. The partnership didn't last much longer. I'll be using this experience in James Pidgley Book 4, Nights of the Raving Dead. I came to America to pursue my film career. While working in Arizona on a project, I met a man who claimed to be a film producer. He was a charming, likeable person, smooth talking with that calm man's ability to make you believe anything. He finally admitted his past and told me he had witnessed many murders while living in New York. It was my first brush with the mob. Sadly, he died in prison. I'll be using his stories in Malachi Moss Book 3, Death Duty. Back in Los Angeles, I was asked to produce a television pilot. The writer had spent time in prison for being in the New York mob. As we began to film on the first day, it felt like I was on the Godfather set. Most of the actors had either been in Godfather 1, 2 or 3, or the Goodfellas film. I kept hearing, "Oh, he's no longer with us, he got whacked." I finally asked somebody what being whacked meant. The reply was, as I expected, the person had been murdered. I was glad when the project was over and I could go back to a normal life. As for writing what I know, I don't believe that. I don't know how to murder somebody. When asked the question, "What do I do for a living?" I just reply, "I murder people." I pause and watch their expression, then quietly say, "On paper." Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe and buy my books, Coronation Souvenir and Three Ring Circus, available on Amazon worldwide.